I'm the R6 lore guy, and for the first time ever, observation blockers have been acknowledged in the lore. However, it has led to some confusion, and is potentially hinting that Rainbow and Nighthaven may be working together again. Yes, before we get into this video, I do want to say I am currently working on my entire Rainbow Six Siege lore video from the start. However, this video takes a lot of time to make, so be on the lookout for that. Make sure you're subbed, and also drop a like on this video and maybe even a comment. It does help with the algorithm. And let's get into this video. So when I was making my lore video on the brand new recruits the other day, I took a look at the bio for both of them. For those of you who don't know, Rainbow have changed their entire recruit system. The attacking recruits are now known as strikers, and the defending recruits are now known as sentries. The attacking recruits are trained by Zero, aka Sam Fisher, and the defending recruits are trained by Mira. And a lot of this change to training the recruits happened after Deimos' attack on the tower, which was a Rainbow training facility, and left many recruits dead. They actually updated tower itself to include a memorial for these recruits. And after successfully taking down the helicopter, one of these recruits, Ram, was recruited as a full operator. And so with this changing of the recruit system, we got new bios explaining how they work. And we also got some inputs from some of the squad leaders as well. And I'm going to read out this little bit by wolfguard leader Doc talking about why bringing these recruits are useful on missions, because there's something in here which doesn't really make much sense in my opinion, and could be potentially hinting at something else. So it says the following: thanks to the recruits' uniform and size of their kit, they do field exercises bringing along 2 secondary gadgets, rather than the singular one our ops normally have. After an executive decision by Mira and Zero, they are able to select from all of the defensive secondary gadgets, not the limited few we held recruits to prior to this. Sometimes, the lack of a 6 and bureaucratic red tape can lead to positive innovations like this. I saw firsthand in a recent module just how useful this double gadget status can be. We were running a Quagmire mission exercise, with myself and other wolfguard operators locked down on the defensive. Normally, we would be sending 2 ops to any entrances, one to lay down some barbed wire, and the other to deploy an observation blocker to deal with drones and attacking force maybe directing our way. And I'm going to stop reading this for now. If you want to see all the bio, you can watch my recruit lore video, but it's that last sentence which mentions something we're going to be focusing on here, and that is the observation blocker. Doc specifically mentions the observation blocker is used by defensive operators to deal with drones an attacking assailant may be using. And at first glance, that makes sense. It is pretty obvious that the defensive gadgets which we use in game are also used by our operators in the lore. However, if you have played with observation blockers in game, or you've taken a little look at their model, you may be aware that the observation blockers are developed by Nighthaven and are products of the QCR department led by Osa. Now, this is where your knowledge of R6 lore needs to be a bit extended. If you're not aware, Rainbow and Nighthaven do not work with each other anymore. They haven't for years at this point. Callie announced her departure from working alongside Rainbow and terminated their contract, and as well as this, multiple Rainbow operatives left to then go work with Nighthaven instead. And the observation blocker was introduced to the game way after this departure, all the way in Operation Dread Factor, where we were already deep into the Deimos storyline with the introduction of Fenrir. Now, with their introduction into the game, it was easily overlooked as, well, gameplay doesn't really affect lore. We can assume that although we are using the observation blocker in game on non-Nighthaven ops, that it is a product of Nighthaven, but in the lore, only Nighthaven have access to this tech. It's the same way we can overlook the fact that Deimos is playable, or that these Nighthaven ops are still playable in game despite no longer being part of Rainbow. Gameplay and lore do not mix like that. However, this seems to sort of use that logic backwards. Since we've established that in the lore these are made by Nighthaven, but in gameplay Rainbow ops can use them, it doesn't really make much sense that in the lore Rainbow ops are now using it. So either this could simply be a mistake, or this could be hinting at something, and from last season's battle pass, that could support this theory. So let's take a look at this one here by Mira. She says the following: I'm doing my best to keep our gear cutting edge. I hate to admit it, but having Osa here would get better results. I could use her vision. That wasn't the only person to mention Nighthaven. If we take a look at this one by Legion, which is referencing this exosuit he is wearing, which was made by Nighthaven, and he says, this is the last thing Osa designed before Nighthaven left. Remind me why why we're mad at them. And that wasn't even the only one. Zofia also had something to say. Of course, Zofia's sister, Ella, is now part of Nighthaven. And what she had to say was, with the danger we face, our issues with Nighthaven feels trivial. We could certainly use their resources. And in the following battle pass, Osa actually had something to say about Rainbow. And she says, not a word from Rainbow since Seoul. Maybe it's time we reach out for once. And of course, Seoul is where the tower is located, so she is referring to the tower attack, and claimed that Rainbow hasn't reached out since. So you have multiple Rainbow operatives, including the head of R&D at Rainbow, Mira, talking about how they would like to work with Nighthaven again. And then the head of Nighthaven's QCR department, Osa, also talking about how she wants to make contact with Rainbow. And then in Operation New Blood, it is being mentioned that Rainbow are using observation blockers. This is of course just a theory, but I think a lot of things are in place here to sort of hint that maybe Osa and Mira are exchanging notes. Because how else would Rainbow be using a gadget developed by Nighthaven, which was created after their separation, blatantly stated by one of the squad leaders, Doc, that is being used in real training? It would be a bit of a coincidence if at the same time Rainbow and Nighthaven managed to develop the exact same tech. Maybe Rainbow's version doesn't look like the one in game, maybe it doesn't even have the Nighthaven branding, but to me this seems like clear evidence that Osa and Mira have had contact with each other, and this has resulted in the creation and usage of the observation blockers inside of Rainbow's training. I wonder if they even maybe sent some crates over and they're actually using official Nighthaven tech. Especially since we know that Osa doesn't really like other people poking around in her tech. Because a lot of this could be happening in the background. We haven't really heard much from Nighthaven. The main lore has been focusing on Deimos. The last major bit from the time of recording was that Deimos was actually going to go on a field mission with a few operatives. A very risky thing, but is necessary to extract the information from him. So with the main focus not being on Nighthaven, these little things in the background may be telling this story. I could be completely wrong, but I just see no other reason as to why Rainbow would be in the possession of observation blockers. They are clear as day Nighthaven technology, developed by the QCR department, created in 2023. This definitely does seem like a star of Rainbow and Nighthaven working together again. And if you think about it, if Mira and Osa have made contact with each other, I imagine something to counteract drones would be on Mira's priority. Because during the tower attack, when Vigil and Ram went to the base, they were met with enemy drones. And of course, their main antagonist right now, Deimos, has a mini flying drone. And I imagine the Kira's Legion has a lot of very interesting tech like that as well. So if Mira is trying to keep her tech cutting edge, I imagine something like the observation blocker would be very ideal. And who knows, if Rainbow benefited from the observation blocker, what did Nighthaven benefit from Rainbow? I really hope we hear more about this very soon. But I want to hear your thoughts. Do you have anything that could contradict this theory? Do you think it has any legs to stand on? I definitely think there is some good structure behind it. And once again, I think it's just the best explanation as to why Rainbow would have observation blockers. You could also say maybe the observation blockers were made years before 2023 and we only just got our first glimpse at them during that time, but that also wouldn't really make much sense as to why Rainbow would still have them. Because as we know, Osa and Nighthaven were very secretive about the stuff they make and how they make it. So I imagine when they departed from Rainbow, they would have taken everything with them as well. So yes, there's a lot of different reasons as to why Rainbow could potentially be using observation blockers, but at this stage we don't know the exact reason, but those are my best theories as to why. And I guess maybe we could throw another theory that they potentially stole them, but I doubt that would have happened. So yeah, why do you think that Team Rainbow are using Nighthaven observation blockers in their training? Hopefully we get to learn more soon. Also stay tuned for my entire lore video, which I'm going to be making. It's going to take a while, but it will be an absolute banger, so stay tuned for that. Be sure to let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Drop a like on this video if you did enjoy. Subscribe if you're new. I shall catch you all later. I love you all. Stay safe. Peace.